Ругаешься? Проголодался за ночь? Ну, кушай.
Do you see a dragon here? Believe me, it is here. Though in a quite different dimension, UATV visited the headquarters of Ukrainian developers of augmented reality and took a look into the future. January 1900. One German chocolate factory began to issue postcards with predictions of what the world might look like 100 years later. It was just a marketing solution, but the artists guessed many of today's realities. For example, that performances can be broadcast to viewers outside a theater, in fact, television. People will be able to enjoy underwater excursions, as is now the case off the coast of the Red Sea. Finally, there will be transport for the sea and for land at the same time, like the current hovercraft. Other postcards like ridiculous and absurd, including this one: the police can see robbers behind a wall by using X-rays. Of course, we have thermal image devices as well, but ordinary policemen don't wear them. In fact, you need a small tablet or glasses that will allow the user to get a picture from a special drone and will connect it to the proper angle. Something similar can be seen in modern science fiction films, but is it such a fantasy in 2019? A startup has been working in Ukraine for several years, and it does everything to turn into reality the bold predictions made a century ago, in the form of augmented reality. We create solutions that recognize the image and complement it with some virtual content. This can be 3D, video, or any other content. In actual fact, we position our application as an augmented reality browser that can play any content and an unlimited amount of content. Alexander and Maria Velichko want ordinary users looking at any object through the camera of a smartphone or tablet to get much more information than they do at present. Technologies for this already exist, it only remains to introduce them. We're closer to the fact that augmented reality will, in unison with visual search technology, become our personal assistant. We'll be able to see the recipes, pointing, for example, for breakfast cereal or something else. You liked my blouse, and you want to buy the same one. You just photographed me and ordered it. And that's it. You photographed me and the order is made. Up next in the program, how does augmented reality work and how does it differ from virtual reality? Why have Ukrainian developers appeared at the forefront of this technology in their own country and not only? In what other areas can augmented reality techniques be used? Computer games with virtual reality glasses are no longer news. It seems that this technology developed very quickly in just a few years. In fact, it's already half a century old. In 1968, Harvard professor Ivan Sutherland designed the first virtual reality helmet, which was bolted to the ceiling and was called the Damocles sword. The scientists knew for sure that the spread of this technology was inevitable. In the 1970s, an American computer artist introduced a system that allowed the user to draw, type, and simply manipulate non-existent objects with simple hand movements. Since then, virtual and augmented reality have diverged simply because their origin was fundamentally different. Virtual reality is when we immerse ourselves completely in a new world that is drawn by designers and programmers. Augmented reality is when we supplement the real world with virtual objects, like what is happening in the room now, and for example, a dragon might appear. Augmented reality began to be widely used for the first time by the military. Various indicators and rulers could be attributed to it, which are displayed for a fighter pilot on top of the normal cockpit view. But with the appearance of smartphones, pocket computers with a camera became available for millions of people, and individual companies began to make games or other applications to complete the building of a real picture using virtual objects. It all started in 2015, when my brother Alexander became interested in this technology. He came and showed me some of the first cases involving augmented reality and told our elder brother about it. He's an IT specialist. And he created the first prototype in just one night. And then we realized that this is a great idea. We're still finalizing the browser. That is, we have been developing it for the last 4 years. Alexander is a mining surveyor by profession, and Maria worked as a TV journalist. The augmented reality browser became a lifelong affair for brother and sister after they had to leave Donetsk in 2014 with the onset of Russian aggression in eastern Ukraine. But a good, modern idea that's already been implemented met with complete misunderstanding at the very beginning. When we came to our partners and explained to them, look, this is augmented reality, you can do a lot of things, videos and posters, videos and brochures, they were surprised. What's augmented reality, they asked, and said the idea was not for them. The developers almost succeeded in launching an instant purchase service with photo recognition technology, but a Ukrainian online store pulled out of the idea. It was launched in the United States just 4 months later. Unfortunately, our market did not appreciate this idea, and we weren't the first in the world to do this, although everything was very logical, understandable, and accessible. In the United States it works, and citizens of the states are very satisfied, and as far as I know, use this service quite often. The growing popularity of such services, and especially games, still ruined the distrust, and today in Ukraine there are already thousands of augmented reality objects. Alexander and Maria Velichko explain what technical problems they had to solve, how their application differs from the rest, and how this is done. The basis of the Ukrainian browser of augmented reality consists of 3 technologies: recognition, metadata, and tracking. The first is responsible for the recognition of the object at which the user points the phone. Today there are many places where you can see QR codes, black and white markers, usually encoding a link to a site with additional information. This technology is called feature point. This is the next stage of the QR code. That is, any image has contrast points, which are calculated using the algorithm and saved as a cast of this image. In order for this technology to work faster and better, everything happens in black and white. And if there is a green and red image, it gives the same gray color, the same shade. Points of contrast, transition points are needed. Once recognition has taken place, special algorithms look for conformity among the casts, and if they find it, give the content embedded in the database. This is the second technology, metadata. Then the third one is tracking. The program must understand how to locate the element of augmented reality on the screen. If this is a magazine page, then the video clip that is tied to it must be projected onto the surface at the correct angle. This small Ukrainian startup didn't have the opportunity to spend resources to develop such a complex add-on from scratch. We created our own recognition algorithm. We wrote it. We work on our own metadata. We also wrote it. This tracking is everything. All services are provided, quite powerful ones. The most difficult thing is to produce such a system that is able to show you any content. This is quite a complicated thing, and I can say with pride that I have not yet seen such solutions in Ukraine. There are some solutions in the world, but I have not seen such solutions in Ukraine. The key feature of the Ukrainian augmented reality browser is that it can impose ordinary pictures, video, 3D objects, and even 360-degree panoramas onto an image. And all of this is not stored in a phone, where it overloads the memory, but in the digital cloud. In the admin panel, Alexander can link virtual content to an object in the real world in just a few minutes, and there are more and more people who want to use this tool. Augmented reality has now become clearer for everyone, how it can be used and how it can be implemented. For businesses, it's an indicator that they're progressive, they're looking at trends. They can also communicate quickly with customers when a customer simply points the phone at their products and can learn more. It's convenient, it's cool, and it is trendy. The augmented reality trend recently caught on in one of Kyiv's shopping centers. Quest was developed especially for it, and not just for the entertainment of visitors. Quest is an opportunity to scatter people throughout the shopping center. That is, the owners of shopping centers faced the fact that customers are saying, "People don't visit us, you've put us into corners." Points that need to be found that participate in this quest are placed near those stores that are located away from the main throng of people. You can download the application in the cafe and see the 3D models of various dishes on the tables. It seems like something small, but it can really delight visitors. For the American startup, the Ukrainians have developed an application that transforms wedding invitations. There is a tiny note that says you have to download the application, and you will see our story, how we met, fell in love with each other, and why we decided to get married. So it does work. People order it, people find it interesting, and it's those people who are older and don't need it. It is such a beautiful card. Augmented reality is not only gradually penetrating into our lives, but also moving into art. The project Master of Crafts told about the Ukrainian muralist Roman Minin, who created virtual sculptures and reliefs in collaboration with a startup created by Alexander and Maria Velichko. For the author, it was a game with new technologies and an opportunity to save on materials. Our ideas have joined together. I wanted to complement traditional art with some modern pieces. This is an opportunity to show that modern art is not just flat, unambiguous, that it can be supplemented with some meanings, layer them, that it's not just static, that it can live in some kind of dynamics, in some other kind of reality. I wanted to add some meaning to it, because the piece of art is created once and for always, and it happens that you have already outgrown it several times, and you want to add something new to it, some kind of additional context. The pictures drawn by Alexandra were quite contrasting for recognition. It was by using them as the foundation that animations developed, and in just a few clicks, Alexander combined the real image with the virtual one. After carrying out a successful experiment, the artist is ready for a larger project in the United States. We have a mural, which was created in Los Angeles. We decided to enlist an entire school of animators there. There were a lot of people working on the content of this wall, and everyone interpreted it in their own way. This is not simply one piece of work. This is such a mini gallery of works rolled into one, and it's already functioning. We're just correcting a few bugs now, and we will launch it soon. This is not our last piece of work. We're also planning to carry out several large-scale joint projects in Kiev. With the help of augmented reality, walls in a nondescript area of any city can be turned into bright animated canvases. To date, this hidden content requires separate applications on a phone or tablet, but Alexander Velichko hopes that this function will become a standard one. Just like cameras in mass gadget models recognize QR codes without having additional programs.
Дополненная реальность хорошо. Когда она будет встроена в камеру смартфона, тоже хорошо, но
Augmented reality is good when it is built into the camera of your smartphone. That is also great, but without content, it makes no sense. And our task, which we're working on now, what we're striving for, is to produce a large content base, so that we will be able to connect our recognition base so as to display the necessary information.
для отображения необходимой информации.
As of spring 2019, the database of Ukrainian developers contains about 25,000 objects, including test ones. Now it also has this massive UATV logo. Very soon, companies that do not have booklets or business cards with augmented reality will be considered outdated. The world is getting used to the fact that there will be augmented reality. It is slowly being introduced, and at present, one of the most convenient ways to introduce it is through our phones. They're with us all the time, and we use them nowhere close to 100% of their capacity, not even 80%. And with augmented reality, we can get something bigger. Global technology giants are already preparing to release new models of digital glasses, and when such gadgets become everyday items, people from all over the world will get access to a wide variety of content from the masters of Ukrainian augmented reality.